Greetings and salutations, universe. This is Creeta, and this is Omni Factory. Now, my cohort, Brim, thinks that this looks like a lollipop, and I think it looks like a tree. What do you think? Now, in the last episode, we worked on some deep mob learning, and as you can see, we have a few machines set up. Now, these are not fully automatic yet. One might say, I mean, it's effectively fully manual. We don't even have an auto feeding system, and we definitely need to get better power because these little baby conduits are not cutting it. We can power a machine that requires, like this one. This requires 1024 RF per tick, and we can just barely do it. If we take away this, because this is two ways of putting power into the machine, it will not run, right? Now, we have a little bit of pristine matter. However, there's an issue, right? For a loot fabricator, it looks like we're going to need the next thing of circuits. And for a diode, okay, so far so good. Gallium, we might be able to find some gallium. I haven't found any yet. I don't know. So I kind of just want to put that off for the moment. Ooh, well, maybe not. Is it possible? Can we move to this now? Ooh, I didn't actually think that possible right now. But anyway, we definitely need energetic alloy, right? And energetic alloy, we can only make it, well, we can make certain things like this dust, but we can't make the dust. It has to be made in a blast furnace. And a blast furnace, it's a big machine, and it's pretty exciting that we get to do it in this episode. Woohoo! But first, a few things. One, we got a really good comment about these crafting stations. They seem really cool. They can access inventories next to them. So if I can now shift click, and I'll get the paper that we could craft using the paper in here. I think we can even craft it using both inventories. Shift, yep, we can. The scary thing about this machine is if there's a crafting recipe that takes that gives you multiple items and you right click, right now in this version of the pack, it'll have, rounding up, the item that comes out. So we just got 2 paper. If we did wood, we'd get 2. So shift left clicking, fine. Normal left clicking, that's all good, right? We got 3. If I right click, we get 2. So this is a little bit scary for me. I'm gonna think about it with this crafting station, but you know, it's pretty good. Now, speaking of sugarcane, it would seem that Brim is completely in the middle of his move. But he hasn't moved this little contraption here. And this has gotten me thinking that we should really upgrade our sugar, or more specifically, our power situation. So if we break this, you'll see that this grows incredibly fast. And I was trying to figure it out. I tested it with Snad, didn't work, right? And then I came over here and I took a peek. Oh, there's a hole. Oh, there's a redstone conduit thingamabobber. And it has a redstone sensor filter in it. Okay. I don't know. Does this just update the block a lot? What happens if we take this out? Do you need that? I mean, it's still pretty fast. That's still fast. What do we, if we put it back in? Who knows? One way or another, I'm sure what's happening there is that it's updating the block a lot, and it makes the sugarcane grow. If anyone has the actual explanation, please let me know. Because one thing I definitely tested was whether it would work with ender lilies. It doesn't. It doesn't work with ender lilies at all. I kind of like the idea of having an ender lily farm, though. But what I did finish up was a quick little sugarcane farm. And thankfully we have a fantastic super sound muffler. Thank you again for the comment on that. And after some testing, I tried this with 3 auto breakers and whatnot. It couldn't keep up with my 4 dynamos. and we took out the comparator as well. We want these things to be running continuously now because we were measuring from the CEF, and now we're taking energy from the RF pipes themselves. So we definitely want to have this power accessible at all times, which is fantastic. I'm okay with that. But I just got sick of mining all that charcoal. It was really fun, but even mending this thing was difficult. Next on the agenda is I just want to get the mixer taken care of. This little fella is going to be very useful for allowing us to do some things, and apparently I never made one, which is weird. I feel like we did. So I'm a little bit confluffled on that, but you know, another machine for us to play around with. Maybe we'll automate some more things. The next thing is, you might have seen it right there, I really want to upgrade our hook, and until last episode we didn't have the chemical reactor, so we couldn't even make one of these ender eyes, right? We need the ender eye to upgrade this fantastic hook, which is pretty good. I currently have it on one hook setting. I kind of think of it like Spider-Man. It makes me happy. I know there's more ways that I can use it, but I think it's time for an upgrade. We're gonna go to this guy, fire a hook, yada yada, everything looks good. Let's test this fellow out. How many hooks can we have? Oh, can this guy only have one hook? Retract, looking, huh, see. Well, I like it. This is a lot faster, and I believe the range is a lot further. Oh, actually, we can go down here and test it out. To the rail system, haha. Let's see. Can it reach that wall? Oh, it can reach that wall. That's really far. So far, I've been sort of jumping up to the roof like this, and very Spider-Man-like. But yeah, that is fantastic. Creeta-likey. And now we can safely aim, I think, at the blast furnace. The mixer will end up being very useful for the energetic alloy. Ooh, transmission coils. Huh, fascinating. And we'll have aluminum. This is going to give us all sorts of good stuff. I think the next thing that we need is apparently cupronickel. Cupronickel is going to be the critical item for making the blast furnace. What part of it? The coil blocks. That makes sense. So cupra, so copper, I imagine, and nickel. Oh, that's silver. Nickel. Just toss that back in there. Thank you very much. And I guess I was trying to make some more carbon stuff, but we can just toss that into our alloy smelter, and we'll probably have plenty. That's probably going to make 2 stacks, I imagine. Once we have the cupronickel, the quest should show us what we need for the electric blast furnace. Oh, that's a bit of stuff. Thankfully, we shouldn't have too much issues with that. I believe we also have everything already put up here. No, we don't. What do we need? Fluid output. Okay. Output bus itself. So, always a good thing with JEI, at least with my version. We have the ability to press A on an item, and that will put it sort of in a bookmark over here, and then we can always press A again and it goes away. That way I can sort of save the things that we really need, like apparently these. So we should need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different types of blocks to make this work, and it looks like there's 8 here. The easiest of which will be the cupronickel, but it's also the trickiest because we'll need to process some things before we get to that point. And for the heat-proof stuff, we're going to need a lot of Invar rods and plates, which is why I've already prepared that. I feel like this is an important thing, so we're going to toss all this stuff into a singular location so that we can work on it. We're going to need a wrench and a hammer, which is always accessible. We can just make a new one, maybe, possibly. We'll just grab it. I'm indecisive. That's okay. Toss those in here, and we're going to see what we can make. We're definitely going to need more of those, but before that, we're going to need to make some frames, and then shift right click. Yep, that's how we keep that. And from there, we're going to turn those frames into the heat-proof blocks like so. I'm not sure how many of these we'll need. I feel like it's around 18. So if we make another set of frames, this should be plenty on our machine casings, right? And then from there we can upgrade the machine casing into the blast furnace itself. And thankfully we have not only our copper nickel, but I put it into the wire mill so that we can have our wires. These guys, we're just going to need them in 2x form and toss them into here to wrap them up into a big coil. Now unfortunately that's only 4, and we're going to need 16 of them, so a little bit more time will have to pass. In the meantime, we can definitely just sort of shift right click there, and we're going to make our blast furnace buddy. But now I really want the order. I should have made the blast furnace first. That's okay. So there's our blast furnace controller. Fantastic. The next part is to get our input buses and output buses. I believe that's just a chest in a certain location. So input bus and output bus, like so. It's going to remember all of these recipes for us, which is going to be such a lifesaver. And then the last ones... Does it need more than that? Oh, that's okay. Then we need the fluid stuff. So fluid output and fluid input. Beautiful. And finally, energy input, which I think is just a tin cable, right? These guys, we're going to want probably 2, maybe more of them. And that's okay, but I think we'll just make a few extras. And with all of this, we should be in good shape once we have our copper nickel. That's all that we're waiting on, I think. And just like that, we are good to go. This is 3 stacks of the stuff. That should be plenty because each stack will represent 4 coils, and we need 12 more. If I've done the math correctly anyway. Shift all and all of those things. We're going to grab that, make 12. Boom. There we go. And that should be a quest update for us. Ha 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 ha! Blast furnace complete. I don't know where to set this up right now. We might want to set it up actually on this side being deep mob learning, and then we could have a blast furnace room over there, or we could go to the 2nd floor. I'm not sure what the best spot to put the darn thing is, but what I can say is that there's a very nice spot just waiting for us right here. Might not be a permanent location, but since we already have machines in here and it's right across the hall, I feel it is the perfect location for the moment. Now, electric blast furnaces are pretty finicky. You want to really just make sure that... Nah, I'm kidding. They're really easy. The copper nickel coils go in the middle, and all the other blocks go on the outside. You can have a whole bunch of these output and input buses all over the place. I've never really found like it makes a huge difference. I'm gonna build it relatively specifically to my needs, I suppose. And you guys just, have a good time with it. We're gonna have an input hatch down here. Or on top. I'm gonna go with an input hatch pointing inwards because you don't really need to see those ugly things. We're going to have an output bus right here. This is going to point outwards to probably a chest. And then, let's see, where do we go from there? Probably a fluid output. We can have pointing inwards as well. That should be okay. Why did it get all dark all of a sudden? I don't feel like I'd put block anywhere. Energy input hatches are definitely going to be on the ground. So, let's lift that up for the moment. Creeta, definitely a reference right there. I'm not sure if it'll let us off the bat build 3 of those, but we'll definitely have those available. Unfortunately, I didn't let those pick up, or I didn't place those the right way. We need to place them on this level, right? Because the copper nickel's going in the middle. And then we just need an input bus, which I'm personally going to have up here, pointing inwards so that it looks nice and pretty. with the rest of them being these heat-proof blocks, which should work for our current setup. We will obviously find out when we put the last of the blocks, but for now, I think it should function. If the colors change for you, you've built it correctly, so this guy should be relatively fully operational, which is very exciting. Let's take a quick peek at energetic alloy. There we go. Do we need a fluid for you? We don't. We do need a blend, which is glowstone and redstone. Good thing we built that mixer. And then we need to provide it with 120 EU per tick, which is an MV voltage, which is higher than 32. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Greg Tech, or at least the Greg Tech Universal, I don't know what's the difference personally. We're going to grab a hammer just kind of temporarily. We're going to smash a hole in the floor. Each of these input hatches can take 2 amps, I believe. So voltage in is 32, but it can also take 2 amps. So it can effectively take 64 volts, and we're going to try and give it basically 6 amps of power, which will definitely be more than it needs. You guys could probably do this with 2, but I don't think we can make an MV input hatch yet. MV input, right? Fluid, here we go. This guy, he needs aluminum to make, and we need to make that in, you guessed it, a blast furnace. So we're about to have this thing running almost constantly. Thankfully, our cables were already going to the electrolyzers and whatnot back here. I believe this is the nether quartz creation location. So we can just pop this down and hopefully everything's gravy. I'm sure we'll find out momentarily. And then I just need to set up the facades so that everything looks a little bit more normal. Obviously it will break with the pattern of our stairs on the bottom here, but that is okay. This is mostly just for visual purposes. Hi Kitty, how are you doing? We have a kitty joining us for the moment, and it looks like we can just pop a stair right here. Can we do that? Is it going to let us? Hey, it did let us. Nice. But it might be a location where we want an actual block. In any case, let's make it pretty and check on the blast furnace. Alright, here is our energetic blend. Cool. So now we can test whether or not our machine is operational. I did end up turning this around just to shift right click. I feel like this will function better if we put a chest here for input. And this guy also has slots as well, so we can always put it in here. But let's test this out. Energetic blend goes in, gold ingot goes in. This thing just sucks it up ridiculously quickly. And is it operational? Boom! Running perfectly. The experience from FTB interactions really coming in handy here so that we can see an ingot popping out here any moment now. And then in between episodes, we'll be able to make all sorts of stuff, specifically just aluminum and more of this energetic stuff. Maybe we'll upgrade 1 or 2 things as long as there's not a quest for it. And things should be in good shape. Let's see, gallium ore processing for byproducts. Oh, sweet. I can just accept this. There's a whole bunch of stuff here. Read it. We'll probably set this up for next episode, maybe. We definitely need to get gallium soon so that we can get to the loot fabricator, because that needs these circuits over here. And I also want things which are fantastic. Let's see. So we have aluminum pop out. Cool. And I'm just going to toss this stuff in here along with some more aluminum and let that run. There we go. All right. Those things are cool. Let us move forward. So I ended up making more netherrack right here, and we're going to see how many more of these modules we can make, because I really would like just more, right? More modules is a happy Creeta. let's see. So, first steps is we're going to use this to make some hellish matter. We're going to have 64 of this stuff, which is fantastic. I love it. And I believe that we can make a wither skeleton skull with some skulls, some hellish matter. Cool. Also a gas tier, spider eye sugar, and some hellish matter. And I feel like that should be it for the 3, I want to say it's 3 modules for the hellish stuff. So let's see. First one is blaze. Cool. Next one is gassed. Fantastic. I feel like gassed gives you something really good. Just silver? Well, that's still fantastic. And finally, the wither skeleton. Is that all 3? Is there another one? What are we missing? Complete. Ha! Ha! You can't trick me. I know that's the case. Just searching up module. Wait, what is it? Model. Model. In the last episode we made 8 of them. I did make a slime off camera, which then should mean that there's what, 15 of these? 15, 8, 11. So there should be 4 more to go. One being a wither, another one being dragon, shulker, and the 4th being enderman. Let's see if we can make the enderman one. I'm not sure if we can. I think we need to take this hellish matter, which we're about to be able to get a whole bunch more of it. And I want to say that we should be able to make extraterrestrial matter. We'll be able to make 10 of it. That's not terrible. I hope that we can make an ender one with this, or a shulker. Shulker would be really good. Alright. Hellish matter. Turn that into extraterrestrial. And from there, do we want enderman or shulker? Because the shulker shells, I've looked ahead, is how we make diamonds. But the enderman is how we make ender pearls. Let's go with shulker. It's a cheaper one. And I like diamonds. We can always get more ender pearls. I'm sure we'll get them. So shulker data. This is also probably the most important one. But we need another model. And we should be in good shape for the shulker guy. I'll probably have to find some more simulation chambers. But we just blasted through quite a lot of models. And we might even make the last ones tomorrow. This thing is running perfectly well, though it does look a little bit sad right here. So I might just break this momentarily, just for the visuals. It's important to get a nice little screenshot as we say goodbye for this episode. I feel like we got a whole lot done in this episode, and that is very exciting. So thank you for joining me in today's episode of Omni Factory. It's been fantastic. You're all wonderful. Thank you. Bye-bye!